Martell Holt has reached a point where everything he does feels heavier, messier, and more desperate than ever before. From the moment this episode begins, it becomes very clear that Martell is not just making mistakes, he is repeating the same patterns he has always had, but now the consequences are larger, louder, and more visible. The drama surrounding him is not just on the surface anymore. It goes deeper behind the scenes, and the people around him are starting to call it out in ways they never have before. Viewers, cast members, and even people who once supported him are beginning to say that Martell's behavior can no longer be excused as simple anger or a simple reality TV drama. Many believe it goes deeper, and that's where the story becomes even more intense. One of the biggest parts of this behind-the-scenes drama is the conversation viewers are now having about Martell's emotional state. Many fans have pointed out that Martell was court-ordered to take a psychological evaluation, and the reason people keep bringing this up is because they believe Martell struggles to control himself. They believe his sudden emotional reactions, his constant anger, and the decisions he makes all point to someone who is not in control of their own actions. People are not calling him crazy or labeling him, but they are saying that maybe he needs help that he has been avoiding for a long time. They believe he needs professional support, not just to help himself, but for the people around him, especially his children. Viewers have been writing comments saying Martell's pride is holding him back from getting help. They believe he cares too much about his image, too much about appearing strong, too much about looking successful, and not enough about actually doing the work that could help him grow. Because what the audience sees is a man who wants attention more than progress. He loves the attention from different women. He loves the idea of fancy cars, expensive homes, and a certain lifestyle. People say he wants these things, but he wants someone else, maybe Melody, to provide them for him. And when you really think about it, this is part of the bigger problem. Some fans have even said that Martell may have done things behind Melody's back that have never been revealed. They feel like things will eventually come out because secrets never stay buried. These opinions may not be facts, but the fact that so many viewers share the same thoughts shows how big this situation has become. And this is what makes this storyline so intense. It's not just about drama. People believe there is something deeper happening behind the scenes, something that has been building for years. And this episode finally exposes pieces of that. Now let's move to the main thing Martell is doing in this episode. He is desperately trying to get Arrione Curry on the show. This is not just a small storyline. It's not a funny moment. It is a huge part of why people think Martell is falling apart. Because the way he is pushing for Arrione to be on the show is not normal. He is doing anything he can to make it happen. He is trying to talk to people, trying to move pieces around, trying to create situations, trying to pull strings, but nothing is working. Every plan he tries ends up falling apart. In this episode, Martell goes to Chris and Nell Fletcher's daycare. Now, the way he walked in there acting like he just wanted to update them on some conversations was pretty funny, but also sad, because everyone watching knew exactly what he was doing. He wasn't there for a friendly update. He wasn't there to check on anything. He was there because he is still trying to get Arrione on the show. He thinks that if he talks to the right people or tries to smooth over things with the right cast member, he can finally make this happen. But what he does not realize is that no one is falling for it anymore. And the reason this moment stands out is because Martell is acting like someone who has no real storyline. When you look at the season, you see the same pattern from him. Every time things get difficult, he goes right back to the same old moves. Move in a side check, create drama, start arguments, do something messy, and hope the show uses it as a storyline. But it's not working. The audience isn't interested in watching the same mistakes play out again and again. They want growth, development, and honesty. Martell isn't giving them that, so he tries to force drama instead. What makes this even stranger is that Arrione and Martell do not even have anything meaningful to talk about. They don't share real goals, they don't share dreams, they don't share purpose. All they share is drama. And Martell thinks bringing her on the show will somehow make him look better, or make him look like he has control, or give him relevance again. But everyone watching can see that it does the opposite. It makes him look desperate, and people do not respect desperation. Now, when Martell starts talking about having Arrione and Tisha in the same room, that's when people start shaking their heads. Martell genuinely believes this would be a good idea. He thinks that getting these two women together will help his storyline, or prove he can control something. But Tisha has nothing to do with this. She is not responsible for Martell's choices. She is not going to help him look better. She is not going to be used as a tool for his storyline. And viewers know that. This is what makes Martell's behavior so confusing. He seems to believe that everyone around him is going to participate in his plans. He believes that if he pushes hard enough, people will eventually agree. But what he forgets is that people have minds of their own. They have boundaries. They have lives. They have reputations to protect. And people like Tisha are not going to ruin their peace just so Martell can pretend he has motion. Speaking of motion, one of the biggest criticisms Martell receives is that he has no real progress in his life. Every time he tries something, it fails. Every time he starts a new business, it falls apart. Every time he tries to create a storyline, it goes nowhere. And people are now starting to notice this pattern. They are saying Martell has not built anything successful in a very long time. He has ideas, but he does not finish them. He has plans, but he does not follow through. He has dreams, but he does not put in the work. Melody, on the other hand, is the complete opposite. She built the show. She built the brand. She built the platform. She created opportunities, not just for herself, but for the entire cast. Martell did not create anything, but he wants the recognition without doing the work. This is the biggest difference between them, and it shows in every episode. Melody is growing, Martell is stuck, and instead of learning from his mistakes, he keeps trying the same things again and again. Now, let's get into why Martell wants Arrione on the show so badly. It's not just about TV, it's about control. Martell wants to feel like he has power. He wants to show that he can do something everyone told him he couldn't do. He wants to prove that he is still important. But the truth is, Arrione does not want to be used like that. She may have made mistakes, but she's not stupid. She knows Martell is trying to bring her in only to help himself, not to help her. And she is not playing along. Another important thing to say here is that Martell cannot move forward in life until he ends the situation with her. And this is not about judging her. It's about Martell waking up and realizing that his life will always be stuck as long as he keeps repeating the same cycle. If he wants to grow, he needs to take responsibility for the situation he created. But right now, he is doing the opposite. Martell loves to blame other people. He blames Melody. He blames Tisha. He blames the show. He blames production. He blames friends. He blames life. But he never blames himself. And until he does that, nothing will change. This is why viewers say Martell is stuck in a cycle. He does not learn from his mistakes. He does not accept his role in the situation. He does not want to face the truth. For example, Martell once said that Melody created L&MH Huntsville just to expose him. But that is not true at all. She started the show to grow their businesses. She started it for opportunities. She started it for her family. She built something successful, and Martell is now trying to rewrite that story to make himself feel better. But the facts are the facts. Martell's attempts to get Arrione on the show are the biggest example of how desperate he has become. He thinks this will save his storyline, but instead it makes him look weak. It makes him look unfocused. It makes him look lost. The viewers see this, the cast sees this, and the internet talks about it every day. The cast members like Chris Fletcher and Nell have seen Martell's behavior for years. They know his patterns, they know how he works, they know when he's lying, they know when he's manipulating. So when Martell walked into their daycare acting like he just wanted to update them on some conversations, was pretty funny, but also sad, because everyone watching knew exactly what he was doing. He wasn't there for a friendly update. He wasn't there to check on anything. He was there because he is still trying to get Arrione on the show. He thinks that if he talks to the right people or tries to smooth over things with the right cast member, he can finally make this happen. But what he does not realize is that no one is falling for it anymore. And the reason this moment stands out is because Martell is acting like someone who has no real storyline. When you look at the season, you see the same pattern from him. Every time things get difficult, he goes right back to the same old moves. Move in a side chick, create drama, start arguments, do something messy, and hope the show uses it as the storyline. But it's not working. The audience isn't interested in watching the same mistakes play out again and again. They want growth, development,